and we're all just like running back to our rooms, and suddenly there are just like bear horns going off.
Yeah.
And yeah, that occurred on multiple occasions.
My name is Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you guys for talking to me today about the movie.
Happy to
Thanks
be
for
here.
having us.
I enjoyed it, so congratulations on pulling it off, first and foremost.
Thank you.
That's great to hear.
Now, my first question is for both of you. Now, the topic of being an outcast is a common theme in this film. So, Rachel, can you talk about how that is a through line throughout the film? And Judah, can you break down how that topic relates to your character of Jonah?
Yeah, I mean it's yes, being an outcast. So I mean I think that this for me a central theme of the film is about community and definitely about, when we're looking at the floaters, this is a group of self-selected misfits. And so as different as they are from their community, they are even more different from each other. And so I hope that kind of people take away a questioning of how can such a group who are the strongest individuals also become community together.
Yeah.
Not always easy to do.
Yeah, no, I think the character of Jonah fits right into that, right? I think he comes into this film slightly cynical, maybe a little jaded, and I think it's through this community, through the help of these other characters that are around him, that he finds his voice, you know? And so I think it's really like um, about the strength of that kind of support system.
Yeah, Rachel, there are some big ensemble scenes in this film, such as all the scenes with the Outcast group of floaters putting together that big stage performance. Can you talk about, juggling all of those performers and characters while making sure to give everyone enough space to be as organic as possible?
We cast such incredibly talented actors here that they each brought so much nuance and depth to their characters. Even there were some characters, in the film that had well written but had slightly smaller roles and ended up putting such incredible backstories into their characters that, like, there's stuff that came out in improv that have made certain roles some of my favorite character arcs that I never saw coming. And actors like Judah, who was so true, and really there's never a false note and never a phoning it in. And um the yeah so I guess the answer to your question is just like have really great, uh in terms of looking at this as an orchestra, have great instruments, have great talent players, and it was jazz and fun. Yeah, there's nothing hard about it.
Judah, can you talk about building that dynamic with all your castmates, both on set during the scenes and whatever you might have done offset just to help, get close with everyone?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite aspects of this project, honestly, was we were all living on the camp, like on one hallway, you know? So as far as the chemistry and our relationships to each other, honestly, that all just came naturally because it kind of had to because we were roommates for the entire shoot. And I think that plays. I think it informed kind of everything that we did on screen, with the bonds that we were forming off screen.
Another strong point of this movie is just how it handles, expresses, and explores Judaism. In your mind, how would you describe how this movie, explores those things in unique and engaging ways?
Yeah, I mean, to me, what I wanted to see in a film about Jewish community is diversity in every way, and diversity of thought and background. And because I guess to me, my experience as a Jew is that there's no, there's like no one way of being a Jew. And in fact, if anything, we're defined more by our difference and ability to hash out difference with each other. There's zero uniformity in the Jewish world.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who, I haven't really had a classical summer camp experience like depicted in this movie. So a lot of these stories are really my understanding of how these things go. So for both of you, have you had your own personal summer camp trips and like how did you utilize those experiences or that knowledge in, bringing this film to life?
So I hadn't at all. So this for me, honestly, was such a cool experience because I kind of got to, vicariously live through my character. So, and it was fun. Hey, to anybody who's thinking about it, I would highly recommend the summer camp experience after doing this. So,
I also did not go to summer camp, but we did shoot in a real summer camp, Camp Tel Yehuda in Berryville, and three of our producers, their parents met there. They went there, and they will be sending their kids there. So we had that connection that gave us access
Hmm.
to that world. And yeah, for me also kind of coming in without having gone to summer camp, I think I absorbed it with very fresh eyes.
Yeah.
And now I have kids and they want to go. So
Rachel, community is so important to this film. How did you work to make sure that that was felt not only on screen, but off of it?
as a director, I feel like one of my very first tasks is to make it a safe environment for the actors, and that's in a creatively safe way that there's no, all inquiries are good inquiries, and there's no mistake, such thing as mistakes, and just to make it feel like hopefully that's what I did from that end.
Now, Judah Jonah, he may be an outcast, but he handles himself pretty well with bullies. I mean, not flawlessly, but mostly better than some of the other characters we see. Why do you think he fares a little bit better against bullies than others, and is able to kind of stand up for himself in some circumstances?
it's a really good question. I think because he has some bravado, and I think he also has a lot of walls that he's kind of built up for himself as protection. And I think that we see in this film those used for good in the case of standing up to bullies, and also used in maybe not so great ways in the case where people are actually trying to connect with him. And he, at least towards the beginning, is unable to do that.
For both of you, what would you say was the most surprising challenge that you guys faced, while working on this movie?
Bears.
I don't know what that means. Like, do we encounter a real bear?
The actually bear. Nothing to read into. Bears.
Bears.
There we were in the middle of the woods. It's the only time I've ever been on set and been like, okay, we have to shut down for a couple hours because the bears are coming. And we're all just like running back to our rooms, and suddenly there are just like bear horns going off.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that occurred on multiple occasions.
Did you ever learn about there was a car accident with a bear off campus? Did you know
No,
about that, Judah?
I
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah. It was like it was a re it had a whole arc, the bear story of the production. No,
So this,
no one was hurt, but a car was totaled, hitting a bear
God.
off campus.
what about the bear?
What's that?
Is the bear done?
The bear's done.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
bear. Poor bear.
Yeah.
Shouldn't go to summer camp. It really
It
is.
was actually really traumatic and bad, but yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a good sequel plot, I think, right?
I was just about to say that. Thank you for saying it. Yes, we need a sequel. The Floaters, Bears.
Yeah. Now, Judah, for you, what do you feel like you added to your character that wasn't originally on the pages that you read?
Personal experience. I think that's the thing with every character, right? Is you take what's on the page and then you also imbue it with all of your own experience, all of your own humor, whatever it might be, right? And so I think that's you add a little bit of yourself to every single character. So I think mostly that, and then some, off the cuff improv stuff, I suppose. But mostly the first one.
What are you guys most excited for audiences to experience when they get their hands on this film?
I hope it makes them laugh. I hope it's fun. I want it to be yeah, I think that's not a shallow experience, especially now. I hope it's a joyful experience.
Same. I mean, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I also think like the arc of these characters, I think where they start out, where they end, because I think we all have pivotal moments in our lives. And these are those moments for those characters, and I hope people will find a little bit of themselves in it.
And I'd say also it's to me this film and it was 100% there in the page and then brought out so wonderfully by our cast. It's not a cynical movie, which is kind of it's like I thought about some of the classic films, from the 80s, The Breakfast Club or what these films that were made wholeheartedly without cynicism, and I think it's a good thing to bring some of that back now for films, particularly about youth, that there's, you know, it's not afraid to be emotional.
Now, Judah, I want to squeeze in a quick unrelated question here for you. You were also in the Babysitter movies, which I really enjoyed. So I had to take a moment to ask, where's Babysitter 3? Are we going to see it? When is that going to happen?
You know what? I wish I had an answer. That is above my pay grade. But hey, Netflix, give me a call, you know?
Yeah, he's right there. Come on, guys. What are you doing?